Hello and welcome to yesterday's Airlines. And in this video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be unboxing 4 of the latest arrivals to join my collection here in the UK. And these 4 arrivals have all come from the United States and Northeast Diecast. I've been working with Northeast Diecast for the last month or so. They've been sponsoring my posts and they've been giving both myself and you the option of using an excellent discount code, and that has enabled me to start picking up some of the great models from their site as well. So I thought I'd take a look at 4 of the latest arrivals that have come from Northeast Diecast in this video. And you know, I always like to look through some great classic American jets, and these 4 are really good. I've been a big collector of US airlines for quite a long time now. When I very first started collecting 400 scale in about 2011, I originally was going to say I'm just getting 200 models and they're just going to be United States classics from the regulated era. And as you can see in the images here, things have got a little out of hand. And now I've got, hundreds of aircraft representing the regulated era of United States aviation, which I find to be a really exciting time in the US airline industry. But even though I've got lots of these models, there's still loads of holes in the collection and lots of great models that I'm on the lookout for. And I've been very lucky to be able to pick up some of those from Northeast Diecast, and those are the 4 that we're going to be looking at today that fill some really nice holes in my collection. Now, Northeast Diecast, they're sponsoring this video. They've been sponsoring a few of my videos recently, and they have got an excellent range of second-hand models covering, well, the whole world really, but especially in the United States. So it's well worth checking out Northeast Diecast because they've got some really great stock. And if you do check out Northeast Diecast, don't forget to use yesterday's Airlines 15, which is the code that will give you 15% off of your order. They've got some really, really nice models, and it's well worth checking and having a look. So don't forget to do that. But this time, let's have a look at the 4 that have just arrived from Northeast Diecast. Now, the 4 models that have just arrived cover 2 of my favourite airlines of the regulated era, and the first 3 models are all from National Airlines, which had a big network up and down the East Coast and especially to Florida. And as you can see, I've already got a reasonably sized fleet for National, but I'm missing quite a few models that wear the Sun King livery. Now, everyone calls it the Sun King livery, but really it was called Instant Florida. But nonetheless, it is one of the most iconic schemes that has ever been worn by an airline. And the first model that we've got coming up is an Aero Classics 727-200. The registration is N4735. You can see that it comes in quite a nice box actually by AC standards, which is used to illustrate a series of 727s they made in National and Pan Am colours, because obviously Pan Am took over National. But as you can see, the model comes in the usual cradle and is looking really nice. It's wearing the earlier version of the Instant Florida scheme, as you can see, with this lovely silver belly, and the aircraft, as you'd expect, has its name on the top, its Fly Me name. National was famous for its Fly Me campaign when it introduced this wonderful Sun King scheme, and this aircraft is called Evelyn. Looks really, really nice, and I really like the Aero Classic 727-200. I know a few people have complaints about it, but I've got lots of these, and I think that they're generally really sharp, and I really like the look of that. You see Evelyn, the name in the heart. Really great 727-200, and that is the first of the models which I have acquired from Northeast Diecast in this shipment. And there she is on the apron, but let's get her up and on to the turntable. Okay, on to model number 2. This one is also Aero Classics and National Airlines, but this one is a Douglas DC-850. And the registration of this aircraft is N278 Charlie. And as you can see, it also has the same livery as the 727 had, with the beautiful natural metal belly. And National were quite a sizable DC-8 operator. And much like the 727, this one also has its Fly Me name, which you can see is Carolyn. So a really nice release. I think the Aero Classics DC-8 is one of my favourite moulds, and it looks super fine here in the Instant Florida Sunking. Really very nice model. And I don't think that there is any real criticism of this DC-8 mould from AC. I think it's one of the best, and really very, very nice. Cool, so put her down onto the apron, and as with the 727, let's move her over onto the turntable and check her out. Model number 3 is the last National Airlines model of the video, and this one, as you can see, is a 727-100, and it is also in the Instant Florida Sunking scheme, though a slightly different version. The reg here is N4620, and the Fly Me name is Lynn for this aircraft. The difference in the livery here is that towards the end of the 70s, National introduced a white belly instead of the natural metal belly, but on the 77s, as you can see, still kept the rudder and rear fuselage natural metal because it just got so dirty from the engines. But a really nice mould again. You can see the difference here between the natural metal belly. I think it probably looked better with the natural metal belly. The other difference in the scheme actually is that the Fly Me name in this later version actually had a picture of a woman and then the name over the top of it, as opposed to a kind of cloud motif. But super nice. And this is National just before the Pan Am takeover, which ended, unfortunately, its history. Was it a complete disaster for Pan Am? And let's get her over onto the turntable. And the last model from this batch is for a different regulated Aero US airline beginning with N, and that airline is Northeast Airlines, which operated up and down the east coast of the USA up until 1972. And as you can see, Northeast was very popular up in that Boston area and had some really attractive schemes, especially in the late 60s. Now, you can also see that I've got a decent number of Northeast Airline models in my collection already, but as always, there's plenty of room for more Yellowbirds. And the addition that's coming to the Northeast fleet this time around is a Yellowbird 727-200. The registration of this Aero Classics model is N1649. Once again, you can see AC's actually worked quite hard on the box for these Northeast releases and has a box specifically for them. Now, this aircraft actually dates right from the end of Northeast Airlines. The airline had never been particularly healthy, but did introduce this wonderful Yellowbird scheme in 1966. Sadly, in 1972, it was taken over by Delta Airlines, and this aircraft, as you can see from the nose region here, has the Delta widget because it was painted on the Northeast fleet just after the merger and until the aircraft could be painted up in the widget themselves. But the Yellowbird, again, along with the Sun King, is a really iconic and beautiful livery from the late 60s. And this lovely yellow all across the fuselage rear, but also on top and beneath on the stabilizers and wings, just is amazing and would have been a great scheme to see in person. Such a shame it didn't last for too long, but has really gone down in history as, I think, one of the best all-time American liveries. Now let's get this beauty up also on to the turntable. Okay, well, that is an unboxing of the latest 4 American classics to join my collection. These are really great gap fillers for my fleet, really expand out my National Sun King collection and add a lovely Delta widget Yellowbird Northeast into the NE fleet too. So plenty more models to buy to fill in the remaining gaps, and Northeast Diecast, I have to say, has been a really good place to find those models. So don't forget to check them out if you're interested in US classics or other great 400 scale and 200 scale models, and use the coupon code Yesterday's Airlines 15 for 15% off your order at Northeast Diecast. Now, I don't know if you guys enjoyed this video or not. I hope you did. I may well do more of these sort of unboxing videos in the near future, because obviously I get a lot of models, and if you're enjoying this kind of content, I'll do some more of this kind of stuff. But that's it for now from Yesterday's Airlines. My next video will be probably the Gemini Jets April release announcement vid, ranking those, so keep an eye out for that. But that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this look at these 4 lovely Aero Classics models. And I've got to go and find some space in the collection to fit them on the shelves. But that's it from me. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.